Hi, I'm George Younger, and I'm doing this interview for Urban Adventures for a tour guide position. My sister's going to help me. She's going to ask me a couple of questions, and I will answer them.
What attracted you to work with Urban Adventures?
Well, when I saw the notice for tour guides in Washington, I was immediately attracted to that because I've worked in the tourism business before. I've worked on cruise ships. And I went online to see the company, see what kind of company it was, and I was immediately impressed by its international profile. They work internationally in a lot of cities that I've either lived in or traveled to, and so that was one thing. The variety of tours that they give, the combination of theaters and museums with culinary. I'm an avid cook, so I like that mixture of things. The fact that I could work in other cities as well, and possibly I have a lot of strong connections to Berlin, and so I would maybe be able to do it there as well as here. And then the flexible working hours. I think it's not a typical 9-to-5 kind of a job.
What do you think makes a great tour guide?
A great tour guide, I think, first has to love travel. I think it's important to understand both sides of what it's like to go to a city and visit, and then also to love a place and be part of it. This personal interest is very important. I think has to be a command of language is very important for a tour guide, to be able to speak clearly and openly with people, to engage them. We see in theater having a stage presence is important. It's not just about giving a speech, it's really about the interaction with people. And I think those are important things that for a tour guide to have.
What are some of your favorite things about Washington, D.C.?
Washington is a wonderful city. I grew up here, and it wasn't until I left before I realized really how wonderful it is. There's lots of theaters and museums, and there's all kinds of things to do here. And a lot of them are free to the public because it is the nation's capital. I think the layout of Washington is wonderful because it's very different than most American cities. It doesn't have this typical grid work, north, south, east, west. It was designed city by a French painter and architect, Pierre Lafont, and so it's circles and these diagonal thoroughfares connecting them, and that makes the city very interesting. The political culture here is unique because it is the nation's capital. It's very international. They have a wonderful international restaurant scene here. So those are some of the things that I really appreciate about Washington.
What does responsible travel mean to you?
Responsible travel, I think it's important when you are traveling to some place, and especially a new city or a new country, to really learn to respect their traditions and to understand their traditions, and that's a good way of entering into an understanding and a relationship with it. And so I know that when I was in Tunisia, I was on a cruise ship working as an entertainer, and the girls from the company wanted to go to the beach with me, and we went there, and these were European women, and they came in their bikinis, and at first I was a little bit like, we're in a Muslim country, I'm not so sure that's appropriate. And then a few minutes later, some other guys came over, and they sort of said, this is not really appropriate. And the girls were very nice. They put on their t-shirts and everything, and we ended up speaking with the people there and talking to them about it and spending really several hours just learning about the country. And so I think that's an important aspect, and it was a learning experience for me as a tourist in a place.